My excitement for Infinity War continues to build, so let's talk more Marvel. Let's rank the Iron Man Trilogy worst to best. How would you rank this trilogy? Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and this is my ranking of the Iron Man Trilogy from worst to best. I'm super excited to dive into this. Iron Man truly is one of my favorite superheroes in the MCU. I also plan to rank the Thor trilogy and the Captain America trilogy, but, next week I gotta rank all the Marvel movies after seeing Infinity War, and I'm really excited to dive into that. Then I'll get back into some of these other MCU trilogies that they've done, but I'm excited right now to dive into Iron Man. How would you rank all three of these Iron Man movies worst to best? Be sure to do that in the comments. Number 3, Iron Man 2. It was actually a challenge for me to put Iron Man 2 here. Actually, this whole ranking was kind of a challenge because in trying to think about these Iron Man movies, I realized how much I really do like these movies and how much I like this character. But ultimately, what put Iron Man 2 here in my least favorite spot is just, I don't know, it followed so many of the same plot points as Iron Man 1. And it's funny because even when I watched this movie for the first time on the big screen, watching him face alcoholism again, watching him get down in the dumps again, watching him have to, become a hero again. I mean, it's like, and even the whole villain thing, like Mickey Rourke was really good as Whiplash and stuff like that, but it was just the same thing as Obadiah Stane putting on the big Iron Man suit at the end of the first Iron Man. So, just a little bit different, but not different enough, I guess. So I guess that's why I'm throwing Iron Man 2 here in my number 3 spot. But even then, I don't hate this movie. When I watched it on the big screen, I still liked it. That's how much I liked Iron Man 1. That when I was watching Iron Man 2, that even though objectively I was like, wow, you're repeating so many of the same plot points and plot beats in all the same places, I was still having a lot of fun with it. I just really liked the character. I really liked Robert Downey Jr., so even watching this movie on the big screen, I still greatly enjoyed it, even if I felt like I was watching just another version of Iron Man 1. Great introduction to, I almost called her Scarlet Witch, Black Widow. Great introduction to Black Widow. It was really cool to see Scarlett Johansson in that role. What's really cool for me is I didn't have a lot of Marvel knowledge as the MCU started, so I didn't know a lot about Black Widow or who she was. So for me, I found it to be a great way to be introduced to this character, get to know who she is, a spy within S.H.I.E.L.D. And so it was really cool to meet her in that movie. It was really cool to see Samuel L. Jackson pop into this more as Nick Fury. And again, me having very little Marvel experience at this time, getting to know S.H.I.E.L.D. better and stuff through this movie. So there was still a lot of stuff that I really enjoyed about this movie, which is why this ranking was so difficult, and it was difficult for me to put this in last place. But that's just kind of where the cards fell. Number 2, Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 was almost in my number 3 position. The reason it was almost there was because while this movie has some of the most interesting Iron Man things in it, it also has one of my greatest Iron Man disappointments, and that is the Mandarin. And it's not like a disappointment because I know so much about the Mandarin in the comics, and they so underused him. No. It was all the trailers showing Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin, that Southern Baptist preacher.
You don't know who I am. You'll never see me coming.
It was amazing. It was like just in the trailer, the moment this dude opened his mouth and talked, it was awesome. And then it turned out he was just Trevor.
Trevor Slattery. I know I'm shorter in person, bit smaller, everyone says that. But hey, if you're here to arrest me, there's some people I'd like to roll on.
And that is a huge disappointment to me, only because I really liked Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin. I just thought that was the most epic villain of all time. And wow, what a hard time they're going to have beating that when you have somebody like Ben Kingsley playing this character that way and suddenly he's just Trevor. It's not that Trevor was bad either. Ben Kingsley did a great job as Trevor. Once the disappointment faded, it was pretty hysterical to watch Ben Kingsley be just Trevor. But I was just so saddened that he wasn't the real villain and that the real villain was just Aldrich Killian, who I just thought was vanilla. Not that, again, he was a horrible bad guy. It was just vanilla and a little cheesy that he breathed fire. But I don't know. I really wish they brought Ben Kingsley back around at the end. That was a double fake out, that he's not really Trevor, that he really is the Mandarin. And I know they tried to fix some of this in a Marvel one-shot short feature, but it's not the same, man. They needed to do it in the movie. Okay, so beyond that, this still falls in my number 2 position because I loved Ben Kingsley in the role, period. he did a great job as the villain, and he was pretty funny as Trevor. But I also loved all the stuff that Iron Man was dealing with. I mean, you have a guy who is now going through post-traumatic stress because aliens showed up, and now he's spending this whole movie where he barely even has access to his tech. I mean, he puts himself in a suit of armor to protect himself, and now he doesn't even have that suit of armor to protect himself. So him trying to learn to do this stuff on his own, I don't know. I just thought that was really clever. I really enjoyed that plot line, and it was very different than both Iron Man and Iron Man 2, so it was taking Iron Man in a different direction. So I don't know, I really enjoyed that whole aspect of it. You know, he just had the biggest scare of his life, and now he doesn't even have the one thing that he can build for his protection through the major chunk of this movie. So overall, like, I thought the story was really, really interesting, and so Iron Man 3 will fall at my number 2.
What's going on here?
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
Number 1, Iron Man. And how could this not be at my number 1? Iron Man is just fantastic in every way, shape, and form. It's not perfect. I mean, I still remember the first time I watched this on the big screen, and as soon as we got to the boss fight at the end, and then it was just over, I was like, oh, that's it? So Iron Man shows up once and destroys his captors and then shows up again to fight Obadiah Stane. I kind of wanted more. But then I realized that's a good thing I wanted more, because that's how good Robert Downey Jr. did in this role. It was such a blast to watch him build his suit and learn how to build his suit. Hilarious to watch him play with his gizmos and blast himself into the ceiling. I loved moments like that. And Robert Downey Jr. really just brought this role to life. It was amazing to watch. It's also cool to know, like, how much this redeemed his career and gave him the second chance that he has in Hollywood right now. So, like, I love stories like that of redemption, so that was just really cool, like, to see Robert Downey Jr. get this chance and to shine, and my gosh, man, he really did shine. So, like, he was the best part. I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts was awesome. Obadiah Stane, I thought he was a pretty good villain. I mean, I understand the whole Marvel villain problem, but, you know, for this being the first MCU film, he was not a bad villain. And not a bad villain to go up against Iron Man. I guess my only note would be, I just wish maybe, I don't know, maybe he needed to face off Iron Man one other time somewhere in the middle, or maybe Iron Man just had to show up some other time. I don't know. Point is I really did enjoy Iron Man. It had a lot of great heroic moments, a lot of great moments where Robert Downey Jr. shined, plus a fantastic plot, man, where he just, the character redeems himself and starts to care about his legacy, but not even in that selfish way, but just realizing his legacy would be self-centered. So he needed to get the focus off himself and become something different. And I just loved that whole storyline of him becoming the hero. So I loved Iron Man. So how would you rank this Iron Man trilogy? I cannot wait to hear from you and see your ranking in the comments. While you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian and hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified the next time I drop a ranking video, a theological analysis, or my movie review for Infinity War. That's coming out like soon. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe by the time we get to the weekend, I will have seen Infinity War. Do you have your tickets? Are you excited? Let me know in the comments. And while you're there, I already said that. Hit the subscribe button. I guess it's worth repeating. Wow, I love it when the brain just goes on that autopilot, don't you? Anyway, I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.